talking about horror.
What the fuck was that?
I love talking about horror. It's the... I'm trying to get back into the songs. That was I Love Living in the City by Fear.
That was terrible.
Well, you know, I'm not aiming for...
Terrible.
I'm really not aiming for Grammy Award winning content right now.
Yeah, but I'm sure everyone else is like, what the fuck was that?
Like, okay, sorry.
God.
We even talked about me getting back into it, and I'm just like, okay.
I know, that was terrible.
Well, it was better than what I was going to originally do, because my original one, I was going to try doing that Bouncing Souls song, Sing Along Forever. That one's really hard to get down.
God. You should be ashamed.
I'm not, okay? I'm going to own it.
No.
I'm going to own it. I'm proud of myself.
Whatever you say there, bud.
Hey, welcome to the punkrockhorrorpodcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Cody.
And the only podcast where the love of horror movies meets the culture of punk rock. And today we are here to remind you to put sunscreen on your sensitive skin today, or your tattoos. That's a big one. Put your sunscreen on your tattoos. Be proud of the work that your guy did on your body, or gal. I don't know who did your tattoo work, but either way, point being, take care of your skin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Look, man, with all the dumb things we say on here, I want at least people to be like, but they do have good reminders of our better well-being.
You know, there might be one person that's just gonna send us a message. You know, sunscreen causes cancer, right?
We haven't had any of those messages yet. I'm surprised.
I know.
The only message we ever had was someone reaching out to us about a really, really, really bad, like, Jesus hypothetical situation back in January.
Oh yeah.
That was weirdly enough, the religious one is the one that got us some flack.
Yeah. Well, that one and Alex trying to convince me not to feed ducks bread.
Oh, well, that's still ongoing.
I know, and I'm still gonna feed them bread.
You really should.
The time's coming. The weather's a changing. The yeast is rising. The day of reckoning is soon upon us. And all those quack motherfuckers.
The prophets have foretold of this day for centuries.
Yep. I'm gonna ruin those ducks' day.
You're just gonna go out there with like a gun belt filled with bread.
Yeah.
It's quack.
Well, you know, ducks aren't trying to take over the world, and the only thing stopping them is their dwindling numbers of bread eaters.
I mean, if we get taken over by ducks, we probably deserved it.
Well, I'm the only line of defense, so.
It's been 10 years since the quackers have taken over.
So it's the quackening.
A small ragtag group of rebellious warriors have hidden out in the Colorado mountains.
Here's their leader about to give a speech. I fucking told you so! What did I say? No, don't feed the ducks bread. Well, it's the only thing stopping the quackening to the day of flack.
You've been doing the same speech for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like, I think you could let it go at this point.
No. Not until every fucking duck is dead. For my bread.
I think we all get it.
Do we?
I think we do.
Do we?
We do.
No.
And then we're gonna have like one person who had half his body blown off in the war, but the only way to keep him alive was to attach it to a duck body.
Yep.
Bring out.
And he's the one who's getting all the ducks together. He's like, I am half of you!
Like it would have to be somebody like big and beefy, like the Mountain, right? Like, and they have a huge upper half and a small little like duck feet. Like, bring out the peacemaker. Yes, sir.
What can I do for you, Mr. Quackers? Oh, I can tell he's in a foul mood.
for my fellow man in my country.
Oh my god.
We came up with the next best idea.
Yep. That should be the next. No, you know who I want to see play Private Quackensmith? Should be Bruce Willis. He's the only one that could be a duck and a
and a or you know,
and a dude.
What's his name?
No, Jason Momoa.
No, I know who it should be. Forrest Whitaker. It should be Forrest Whitaker with like the crazy eye look and everything, just like I'm here to take care of all the bad ducks. I can't do a good Forrest Whitaker, but just imagine that was him.
Oh my god. No, this is how we finally get The Rock and John Cena to face off in a movie. John Cena is the leader of the geese.
Yeah.
And The Rock is part of the ducks. John Cena's tagline would be, "You can't honk me."
No, it'd have to be, "You can't quack me." Oh my god, that would be...
The Rock would be like, "I'm about to lay your honking ass down."
Fruit Loops. I remember when that was a thing.
It was Fruity Pebbles.
Was it Fruity Pebbles? It was Fruity. My bad.
God.
It was totally Fruity Pebbles. Yeah, man. And big thing real quick is that we are over 1,000 followers on Twitter.
What?
Yeah, but as of today, we are about 1,027, and a huge thank you to all you ghouls and gals for helping us make this milestone. Seriously, thank you. It was really kind of surreal when it happened. So thank you so much for just the continued support and getting us past that point. And yeah, it's exciting. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. To thank you guys, though, we're gonna do in January. We're gonna do a huge kind of like episode release for the month. So we're gonna have, I won't say who we're bringing on.
January
or June? Sorry,
I got my. Say like
you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna wait a minute. You're gonna have to fucking wait. No, what I was gonna in June. So we're gonna. I won't say all the people we're bringing on. It's gonna be a surprise, but we're gonna be bringing out not one but 2 band showcase episodes. For you to listen to in the month.
Oh, snap.
We're going to be bringing some of our favorite guests back on. We're going to get Aaron to come back on the podcast.
Yay.
And we're going to get another guest to come on as well. A local horror podcaster as well. And it's just going to be a great time. You guys are going to love it. The first Band Showcase episode, we're really excited for you guys to listen to. This is going to be our longest one that we've ever published. This is legitimately like an hour-long one. And we're doing it to thank you guys. We're doing it to thank all you ghouls and gals. You're not going to want to miss these episodes. They're all to thank you. We're not going to make them restrictive to our Patreon. Everyone will be able to listen to them. But if you do want to listen to them before anyone else, you do have to be a Patreon subscriber. So for just $2 a month, not only will you get access to all episodes for everyone else, you will also get a shout-out on the podcast. Too, and also you are going to get access to our bonus show, the Punk Rock Half Hour Power.
Yep.
So it's really exciting.
Hosted by Lala.
By Lala from Colorado's own Colorado Punk Rock Army. So it's all exciting, pure and simple. It's great things you want. Yeah, it is. It's great. Come on, you guys want to get on top of this? $2 a month, and it's just to support your favorite horror podcast, or at least one of them. I'd like to think we're your favorite. We're your favorite. We're now your favorite.
Yes, we are your favorite now. You can't say any different.
Yeah, that's how it is. Which, speaking of patrons, we do have to fulfill our Patreon duties. This is now the part where we're going to give some thanks out to our new patrons. Thank you to Caleb Morgan, Lola Vigil, and Lauren Daffer. You are our latest Patreon subscribers. Your patronage and support is absolutely amazing and totally badass, and we love you so much.
Yep. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That being said, we do have a lot to talk about today.
Yes, we do.
So let's talk about what's going on in horror this week. So, first things first.
I want to go first.
Okay.
I want to do it.
Do it.
God.
Okay.
Why is this sticky? Jesus Christ. Everything in this fucking house is sticky. I don't like it, and it's freaking me out. Anyways, I wanted to talk about, little secret. I don't think I ever said it on the podcast. I'm a huge fan of Saw.
You've totally talked about it on the podcast.
Have I? No, I haven't.
No, you really have.
No, forget it. Forget everything that I said before. So, pretend that I never said that before. So, I'm a huge fan of Saw and the Saw franchise. And one thing that I thought was actually really cool, and I don't know, I'm a little mixed between, because one, I think it's cool, but another, I think it's also like too early. But like Chris Rock is wanting to reboot the Saw franchise with Lionsgate.
Yeah.
Like Chris Rock, I did not know he was a huge fan of Saw.
Well, supposedly he said that it's not. It's obviously it's not going to be comedic in any way.
So, hold on.
Okay.
It's not an actual reboot. It's a spin-off.
Okay.
Like actually reading the article instead of being one of those trolls people that just read the headline and go. Blah, 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 blah.
Right. What would be a spin-off?
He said he's been a fan of Saw since the very first film in 2004. Makes me like this man even more. I'm excited by the opportunity to take this to a really intense and twisted new place. Yeah, that's basically all that's about him. They kind of give us a rundown of the just the Saw movies. But yeah, so I'm kind of excited. I want to see Chris Rock's take on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how he does horror. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, I'm not going to be super against it because I do generally, I mean, we both like Chris Rock. Mm-hmm. Like, out of the whole group that hangs out with Adam Sandler, he is probably the funniest.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. His stand-up's great.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, so I'm just reading a little bit more. Yeah, he says it's supposed to be, like, he's making it with the horror fans in mind, so that's what I really like.
Yeah, I mean, let's give him a fair shot. I know it is kind of weird, because it's, he usually, whenever he did make a movie, it was usually comedic. Whenever he did even a TV show, like, Everybody Hates Chris, that was a great show.
Oh, I loved that
show. It was a funny show. Like... Mm-hmm. But
moving on.
Yeah, moving on. I think it'll be fine. I think we'll be all right. We got to keep open. I know we did just get a recent film focusing on Jigsaw. That's the most recent one.
I liked it.
I did too.
I was actually surprised they didn't go more.
They've definitely like pulled back on the convoluted storyline. So that's what I liked about it, because it didn't need to be that convoluted. So good for them. Big thing though is, so recently THQ Nordic announced the return of possibly two beloved franchises at E3, Alone in the Dark and my favorite, Destroy All Humans.
Yeah, I never played Destroy All Humans.
Oh my god, it was one of the most underappreciated games all time. It was probably the best way to be like to play as an alien ever, and it was straight up like living out what it would be like to be an alien in 1960s America. Like, it was fucking great, dude, because you get to drive around in, like, a UFO that has weapons that upgrade throughout as the story progresses. Like, you can actually abduct cows and blow up entire buildings. You can walk around and, like, mind control people. It was fucking dope, dude. It was really rad. And also, they had the guy who does the voice acting for Invader Zim be one of the characters in the game, too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was totally cool. It was definitely like a love letter to like sci-fi fans. Like,
well, I'm excited to see Alone in the Dark get another movie, another game, because the last two were garbage.
Talk about like a franchise that definitely deserves more love and definitely more.
They're
TLC.
the ones that started the survival horror.
Yeah,
like, don't get me wrong, Silent Hill and Resident Evil perfected that formula, but like the original Alone in the Dark's the one that started it.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that and like Clock Tower too. But it's like Alone in the Dark now just kind of gets like a very kind of like remembrance for it, and it deserves better than that.
Garbage game that came out in, I think, 2009.
Yeah, and also the really, really bad movie Uwe Boll did.
Dude, Uwe Boll needs to stay away from video game movies.
That dude is a paradox of a person.
He's horrible. I hate him.
But no, I mean, that's awesome. Like, I really hope we get another Destroy All Humans. I've been wanting a third game, or at least a reboot. Like, or not even a reboot, but like what they did with Crash and Spyro. Mm-hmm. That'd be fucking great. Great.
And more video game news.
Yes, so there's been rumors coming out, the millwork, about Evil Dead's future and the franchise, and well, we talked about it already, but it is like 100% confirmation that there is going to be an Evil Dead video game. So Bruce Campbell came out and basically said that it's going to be the most immersive Evil Dead experience you've ever have. It's going to be fully immersive and probably within a year. So
Eddie's going to be playing Ash.
Yes.
Like he will be voicing himself.
I am hoping for an October release date.
That'd be cool.
I am hoping for that. That may be the one few times that I might actually excuse myself getting a pre-order. Because
let's not lie. You are going to.
Because I usually hate the shit out of pre-orders, but if they actually come out with
I pre-ordered God of War, and that was probably God of War and Spider-Man were probably hands down the two best pre-orders I ever did.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they come out with like a game case as an Necronomicon,
okay, that'd be cool.
I was just gonna be like, it would be so hard.
Don't even care if the game's terrible. The fact that you
God, I hope it's not terrible. So, but that's exciting. So let's hope that we get a release date soon here. I'm pushing for October, but we'll see. He said it should be out within the year, it sounds like. And yeah, Hulu's developing a pilot for a potential series based on the Stephen King's The Eye of the Dragon. I actually don't know much about this one. This is probably one of his his earlier works that definitely got overlooked. And in our Stephen King episode, like, we talked about like how he had a lot of like stories and even...
Well, he has a lot of stories that he's never even published.
Yeah. So this will be interesting to see. I mean, it's all about a kingdom in turmoil as the old king Roland dies, and its worthy successor Prince Peter must do battle to claim what is rightfully his. And plotting against him is the evil flag and his pawn, young Prince Thomas. So I mean, maybe it'll be the thing we need since Game of Thrones is coming to an end.
Yeah, I don't know. I could handle not giant fucking franchise that everyone's watching. Break.
Yeah.
You know, I could go with that little break. That year break in between these seasons of Game of Thrones was pretty nice.
Yeah. No, it's I don't know, man. I think after Game of Thrones I'm gonna be taking a break from the whole medieval thing as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I would like something like that. That's a horror show. You know, besides like Stranger Things. Like, I know that's like horror, but no one actually watches it because of the horror.
Why do people watch it?
Because of all the nostalgia.
Oh, okay.
Dude, that's the one thing that's like. Don't get me wrong. I like Stranger Things. It's a really, really, really good show. But like, I think that's what bugs me is that they're straight up nostalgia. It's a nostalgia show. That's all it is.
Oh, and also
like all the actors are fantastic. Like, they're really good.
Yeah,
it's
but
just one of those things.
What you're saying is what they sell the most on is their nostalgia.
Yeah, the nostalgia factor. All I did during the entire first season was just Easter egg hunt.
Right.
I wasn't even paying attention to the show.
And I would argue that the second season was not good.
I still haven't seen it.
It's not good. A lot of people love it, and I think a lot of people are being fan blinded.
Yeah.
By it, but there was a lot of it that was a problem. The main monster.
Oh, I wonder why that sounds familiar. Fucking Game of Thrones. This entire season is fan blindness and not of like the actual like show and story they're telling. They're all just like, no, we wanted Dany and Jon to be the incestuous couple of King's Landing.
Right.
And then the writers were like, no.
Right. No, it's like the only time like a mass amount of people are totally okay with incest.
Yep. As long as it's an aunt and nephew. Brother and sister, get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out. Aunt and nephew, totally fine. You can go fuck your aunt.
Mm-hmm.
Totally okay. I mean, I'm just saying, that's basically what you're saying if you want them to be a couple.
Yeah.
Because it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's not oh no, their lovers quarreled, their hearts are meant to be. No. Dude, that may be true. Still aunt and nephew.
Yeah, still aunt and nephew.
Still an aunt and nephew. It's still, if it was a real world thing, same thing. But with that being said, the last thing going on in horror is that there's going to be a lot of movies coming out on Amazon Prime, such as District 9, American Werewolf of London, Hard Candy.
Greatest werewolf movie ever.
Agreed. Open Water, Sleepy Hollow, Species. It looks like the whole Species franchise actually is going to be on there. Prayer for the Beast, Postmortem, The Silence of the Lambs, The Wraith, The Zombies, New Order, Mansion of Blood, Killing Ariel, Jack in the Box, Hazard
You
Jack.
know what's funny?
There's a lot coming out in June.
You know what's funny is I almost did the Wraith for my movie review last time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, now it's coming out on Amazon Prime. So, yeah, those are all the movies coming out on June 3rd and June 30th. So, some of them you're gonna have to wait a little longer. But there's going to be a lot coming out. I mean, even Bigfoot Wars is coming out. Curse of the Zodiac. Attack of the Herbals. It's there's a huge lineup. So, keep your eyes open if you have Amazon Prime for all the latest things in horror coming out. With that being said, we have a listener participation corner. And we got to jump into what we're talking about today.
Yeah, because I got a lot of notes.
Which is really funny. So our listener participation quarter went as such. This weekend we were talking about French horror films and why we love them. And we wanted to know what are some of your favorite French horror films and why. And you know what? We didn't get a lot of responses. And I think we didn't because not a lot of people know a lot of French horror films.
I think it's not just that. I think it's also you don't realize what a French possibly the movie you're watching is a French horror film.
Yeah, well, and it's also like if we're gonna be honest about it, I don't think there's a huge market in the States for French horror. Not saying that there isn't really people who don't want to watch it. Obviously, there is, but there isn't as compared to probably like Japanese horror or Korean horror.
I think it's because even though ironically both the movies we picked weren't very bloody.
Yeah.
French horror films are like considered some of the bloodiest movies you ever watch.
Well, if it's not bloody, it's also intense on its storyline.
Yeah, but I just think it's funny that because like while I was doing all the research for French horror films, my movie doesn't really line up with any of it. Right. And I think it's really fucking funny that I picked one of the very few movies that aren't part of the French horror wave, the new French wave of horror.
Right. No, I mean like. Honestly, the biggest thing about it, I think, is that the French horror films are more focused on an artistic style than
we'll get into it.
Yeah, so anyways, our listener participation order. So, from Omegastar at Omegastar78 on Twitter, The Iron Rose. I loved it because it's a stark reminder that there isn't always a monster hiding under the bed or lurking in the closet. We don't need a blade-wielding maniac to send chills down our spine and stop our heart. Sometimes we are our own worst enemies. And then from the Nowhere Dispatch, at Nowhere Dispatch, Martyrs and Irreversible are staples of French horror, but Shaitan, I think it is, it's either Shaitan or Sheetan, is one of the only movies that has ever really creeped me out. Vincent Cassel's performance goes from mildly disturbing to an all-out insanity as the movie gets more and more unhinged in ways you don't expect. And those are really good responses, and that's literally all we got for Twitter. We didn't get a lot of responses on it, but we did get a fair amount of likes and retweets. So thank you on our Twitter.
And we got one from Facebook, which is from our favorite guest, Erin. She said, "OMG, yes, Martyrs is amazing. It's brutal, and the last couple minutes make it all worth it."
Yeah. Martyrs. Was at least brought up twice.
Yeah, I watched some clips of Martyrs, and holy shit, it is.
Yeah.
Like that's why I was thinking about. I was originally going to do that movie, and then I kind of like thought that it was probably the most popular one because it was on Netflix for the longest time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And no, we did not do A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. That is a popular one. It definitely deserves to be talked about more, but we really wanted to like search and find the ones that no one knows.
Yeah.
So we're going to throw out a quick couple recommendations. Obviously, Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. Revenge is also a really great one.
Which Matt is very upset he didn't do that one.
But you made a good point, and we made a good decision that would be a great one to actually talk about when we do revenge horror.
Yep.
And so.
Which, you know what's kind of funny and ironic about that, too? When you think about it, all slasher films are revenge horror films.
Yeah, but I think revenge horror mostly comes from the victim.
No, yeah, both ways. So, think about it. Okay, I'm gonna argue this. So, Friday the 13th, Jason's getting revenge for his mother's death. Okay. That's why he kills all the camp counselors.
Okay.
But they're also getting revenge for their friends being murdered in horrific ways.
I would say the only caveat, though, is that the antagonist has to be someone who isn't getting revenge for someone for it to be revenge for him. So like, I'm going to bring up the movie, and it
fine. They're all vengeful. There.
Yeah.
God.
I'm just saying, man.
No.
It's a discussion.
No, it's
I totally see where you're coming from.
No, it's fine. Cody's always wrong.
Well, no, because I totally see where you're coming from. Because it's also like, if the movie was switched around in that it focused on Jason really being the victim, then it's just like... why?
Like the 2009 one? Or 2004 one?
Sure, like the 2004 one. Like that one.
That's when it came out.
Yeah, but like...
No, 2007. I was still in high school.
But like the same camp counselors that killed him are still alive. He's coming back to kill those exact camp counselors.
I mean, victim of time, man. They were all dead.
I mean, if that's the case, then we got to start watching out for all our senior people.
Because that, okay, so then you have...
I know Gladys has been eyeing me kind of weird.
Okay, then Freddy Krueger, he straight up says, I'm taking revenge on you by killing your kids.
Yeah, but he was a pedophile.
It's revenge. They burned him alive.
So it's like a movie.
I'm not saying it's
alive
good
after
revenge.
a revenge. So like they would need to do a movie showing how he died, like all that prior before.
They did 2009.
I'm just saying, like a full-on movie by itself, like not him killing kids, like in their dreams, but alive and not burnt like jerky.
Why? Why does he have to have a heartbeat to be getting revenge?
Because then afterwards he died.
He says
right?
revenge,
but then he died, right? And then he's getting revenge on kids who didn't have a part of it.
No, then he's getting revenge on Nancy, who killed him.
Yeah, so the second one would be
it's
like
all
a revenge.
The entire thing is a revenge saga.
I'm just saying, like,
it's all revenge.
We're supposed to be talking about French horror. Why are we talking? What are you talking about French horror?
Because the French get revenge in the Revolution.
To any of our listeners in France, welcome to the Punk Rock Horror Podcast. We're going to be hitting every nation and state as the podcast grows. We're coming for you next, Florida. No, wait, we already did Florida. We're coming for... No, we did Canada.
We're coming for you next, Alabama.
Oh, Australia. We haven't done Australia yet.
Oh, yeah. Australia.
We're coming for you, Australia. Dude, I would hope at this point they know if we're poking fun of them is because we do generally like them and want to go there. Because I do want to go to Australia.
I want to go to Australia. See all the things that want to kill me. Oh, look at that fly. Dead!
I want to go to... I would like to see France. That would be... I
feel like you're pandering,
No, because...
Pandering now?
Because I'm... Maybe in a way I am. But I do generally want to see France because I do want to see the catacombs.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool. Anyway, so... We need to get into French horror, and there's a lot to go over.
They like my pandering.
It's just because you're American. They're like, yeah, pander to us.
Pander to us, you see the American.
I spit at you.
That's like I do.
Okay, so this is actually really funny. So France was never... I'm going into history now. So France was...
Oh, really?
I quit! Podcast over. There's no longer a podcast. Anyway,
you do that shit to me,
Revolution!
Man. That's how it feels.
Revolution! Anyway, so this is a long fucking paragraph, because this is the only paragraph I didn't get from Wikipedia.
Oh.
I totally forgot where I got it from. It'd take me like 2 seconds to look it back up. Anyway, so France was never prominent in horror until the French new wave of extremity. But in the 70s, there were a few films worth mentioning, such as Roman Polanski's The Tenant, 1976, a psychological thriller dealing with themes of doomed cycles, loss of self, social assimilation, and repression with Polanski starring in the main role as Tchaikovsky. The Tenant is the third and final film in Polanski's apartment trilogy, which features Repulsion, 1965, Rosemary's Baby, 1968. Yeah, that was a French film. And The Tenant, 1976. Another film that's often overlooked is 1971's Don't Deliver Us from Evil, which is loosely based on Parker Holmes' murder case in 1954, dealing with satanic and rebellious themes. Jean Rollin was a French horror director worth talking about who made 7 horror films in the 70s. His films, while not always highly regarded, are noteworthy for their use of style and erotic nature. Of course.
Nipples.
Yeah, vaginas, penises.
Yeah.
He directed 2 vampire films in the 70s in the form of Requiem for a Vampire in 1971 and The Shiver of the Vampires. I'm not even going to try and read the French.
Oh, can I do
ones.
it? Can I
in
do it?
1971 as well.
Where is it?
Too late.
No,
he made a few other films such as The Iron Rose, La Rose de Fer, and 1972 Demoniacs.
Can I please read
Yes,
it?
go. It's right there.
I want to do the vampire one.
Oh my god, we'll go back to it.
Fine, we'll do...
Les Demoniques in 1974. In Lips of Blood, Livre de Sang in 1975, and The Grapes of Death. I'm not going to do that one. Oh, wait. Les Raisins de la Mort. Raisins.
Raisins.
In 1978, before directing his most known film, Fascination, in 1979. The film follows a cult of sexually inspired women who lure men into their castle to kill them and drink their blood.
As per usual.
So, basically, from the late 70s to, let's see, it was like the early 2000s, there wasn't really a whole lot of French horror. Like, I'm sure there were some French horror movies, but a lot of them weren't, like, super well known and stuff like that.
Also, kudos to your titling, French fried horror. This episode, we're gonna call that now. That's the episode name.
Welcome to French fried
episode
horror.
65, French fried horror. If you didn't know, we're an American podcast already.
So, while I was trying to research all this stuff, like I could not find, like, even Wikipedia was being a hassle. Like, I could not find anything just, that was talking about French horror.
Yeah.
And so once I found that paragraph, though, it said I had to look up the New French Extremity, and that's basically, it's not just horror films, but it's basically France getting really, really into artful cinema.
Right.
And especially sexual repression and savageness, like how humans deal with sexual repression and savage brutality. So, like, I know we make fun of the French being, pussies.
Way to put it so gently.
I'm not going to be gentle about it, but, like, when you watch their films, like, holy fuck.
Oh yeah, they don't hold back.
So, yeah, I'm gonna give the French props on their horror movies. They're fucking good. So I realized I had to just research. I had to pretty much do all my research on the New French Extremity. And solo background: the New French Extremity, or New French Extremism, or informally New French Extreme. I don't know why, but is a term coined by art form critic James Quant for a collection of transgressive films by French directors at the turn of the 21st century. The filmmakers are also discussed by Jonathan Romney of The Independent. So while Quant intended the term as pejorative, many so labeled have produced critically acclaimed work. David Fear indicates that the lack of humanity beneath the horror represented in these films lead to their stigma, arguing that Bruno Dumont's Flanders of 2006 contains enough savage violence and sexual ugliness to remain vulnerable to the New French Extremity tag. But a soul also lurks underneath the shocks. Nick Wrigley indicates that Dumont was merely chastised for letting everybody down who expected him to be the heir to Robert Bresson. Jonathan Romney also associates with the label Oliver Assayas's Demon Lover, 2002, and Christopher Honoré Mamere, 2004.
Excuse me,
Your
I'm sorry.
turn.
Tim Palmer has also written about these films, describing them as constituting a cinema of the body. Palmer has argued that such films reflect a large-scale stylistic trajectory, a kind of avant-garde among like-minded directors, from Catherine Breillat to Francois Ozon, along with contemporary figures such as Marina Delon and Claire Denis. Oh, okay, that's the easy one. Oh, no, this is easier. Dumont. Gaspar Noé. Gaspar! And many others. Palmer situates this tendency within the complex ecosystem of French cinema, underlining the conceptual diversity and artistic scope in French cinema today.
Yep. The new French extremity movement has roots in art house and horror cinema. So we had to kind of give a background of like what exactly the new French extremity was first before we get into the horror stuff, because like that was really important. It was kind of crazy reading, learning about all this. But the new French extremity movement has roots in art house and horror cinema. According to film blogger Matt Smith, this tradition has recently shoved its way very consciously into France's genre endeavors, says Smith.
How rude.
I know, dick. This new crop of horror is something altogether entirely different, concerned as much with gender identity as it is with sheer taboo breaking of the screen images of bodies. The new French extremity in particular is a wide range set of films encompassing art house darlings like Claire Denis and Catherine Breillat, a filmmaker much more interested in sex than violence, or rather sex as violence, as well as those who might be deemed schlockmeisters in their detractors. Schlockmeisters.
I'm taking that for now.
Oh my god,
man, you're such a schlockmeister.
You're being such a schlockmeister.
Oh, you're such a schlock. You're being such a schlockmeister right now, man.
Like Xavier.
You shock blocked me.
Alexandra Asia. Films belonging to the new French extremity take a severe approach to depicting violence and sex. Yeah, so like I said, okay, so it's really fucking funny because like me and Matt were talking the other night, and he's like, you know, it's a French film when there's sex. And that's what you said.
It's true.
And, okay, this is the funny part because I was like, oh yeah, you fucking racist. And then I read this part and I was just like,
it's fucking
God
true.
Damn it.
It's not racist. It's a legit thing.
It's racial.
No, it's a legit thing.
I learned this in sociology. Something that's racial is when it's right about the race.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's the difference between racial view and a racist view. Racist is bound out of hate and just assuming.
Look, man, we're in a society here in America where as soon as anything starts with race, like, we get really up in arms and nervous about how that ends.
I know. I'm just saying, that's the difference, is racial is true. Because like, French are...
You better not end with ist. I swear to God.
This ends in ist, I'm out of here.
I'm done, man.
Yeah, no, it's actually a very it is a racial depiction of the French, because France is actually well known for being the city of love and passion.
Yeah, they're totally open about sex,
and it would totally make sense that all their horror movies are like, yeah, sex. Oh, all right.
Yeah,
how is it sex in this way? Just is okay.
And well, no, and it's like they get a lot of credit in that aspect because they have far less... I think it's in France, they do have, like, far less of a body-shaming environment.
They do, and it's really nice.
Yeah, like we're here where it's like we get mad about naked boobs in public.
Yeah, which is stupid. We get mad about moms just trying to breastfeed, while in France, like, they're like, yeah, fucking, can I be
And
next?
even if it's not just breastfeeding, if it's just a woman walking around without a shirt and a bra, people
heard
get... Totally heard that. No, it's straight up though. Like, it's here we get really mad about just women walking around with just their shirts off and their bras off. I mean, it's
stupid.
Like free the titties. Like, it's cool. Like, it's not even like in a whole like dirty concept of it. It's just like if guys can. Look, man, I've gone to the gym and I've run around my park by my apartment, and if there can be dudes with like huge ass guts without shirts walking around, it's totally cool, then it should be fine for women too. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not trying to like fat shame anyone, but point being is that if we're allowed to be as gross as we want without clothes on and not really get that much trouble for it besides like arrested, then women should be too.
Arrested.
Look, I'm just saying.
Hey, I'm just saying. Once you start swinging peen, that's when things go way out.
And that's fair, but I don't think we're gonna have a crazy woman come around and be like, "Suck my titty milk," and then just like shooting it at people like super soakers.
There will be one.
Yeah, but on average, there won't be. But
just like if it was okay for everyone to walk around naked, there would be more than one guy just jerking it in the fucking street. Let's be honest, we're nasty.
Yeah, no, we're fucking gross, dude. Like women can be just as gross. I'm just saying. Some of your bathroom, we've seen some of the women's bathrooms. Y'all have problems. We have problems too. We fully admit that. We suck at aiming sometimes. But I'm just saying, I've never ever seen period blood like smeared on a wall in a boy's bathroom.
He's not trying to be sexist there. He legitimately had to clean up a pentagram that was made with period blood.
Yeah, we're going to leave it at there. I'm not going to tell you how this happened or why, but it's I tell you this much, somebody needs therapy.
Hey, moving on. Smith identifies 5 films that he believes primarily comprise a new wave of horror in France. I really hate you, Smith. High Tension.
Oh.
I almost did that for my movie review.
Oh, I'm glad you did it. Because it wouldn't be a true review. Because I
do hate that movie. That twist ending it's garbage.
Yeah,
and it's all because she's a lesbian. That's the worst part. That is the worst part.
We'll talk about it.
Okay. Illis Frontier, which I really wanted to do. That's the one I wanted to do, but we couldn't find it. You could only buy it on Amazon Prime. I was so fucking mad. I'm not even going to try that.
I want to do it. I'll then tell you.
And Martyrs.
I think I did it right.
These films, he says, provide a comprehensive snapshot of human anxieties about our bodies, both corporally and socially. Within these works, Smith identifies 2 predominant themes: home invasion and, relatedly, a fear of the other. Okay, so the reason why it pisses me off, I'm not saying it's the fact that the woman is a lesbian in High Tension. Like, that's not what pisses me off. It's the fact that they decided to have that twist be the reason why she goes nuts. It's because the main character you're following, who's being stalked by the crazy-ass hillbilly truck driver, her and her friend are being stalked by him. And then it turns out in the end, all the people that are murdered are her because she's so obsessed with this other woman and so in love with her that she can't handle it. So she starts killing everyone else. And I know it's like, well, it's supposed to be how, like, back, especially, I'm not saying it isn't now, but especially back then, how coming out as a lesbian or gay was horribly, horribly looked down upon.
Right.
And surprisingly, that's like about a little over 10 years ago. So it's really sad that we haven't gotten that much further than then.
But point being, and also I would add on that Walk Culture did a really good job explaining why that twist is awful too.
So if you want a really good depiction besides just an angry Cody review on that movie, just go to What Culture's top 10 movies that good movies that could have been great. And they talk about that twist.
Yeah.
And it's super... It is true. If they didn't throw the twist in there, this would probably be one of my favorite movies. Like, it's so good throughout. And then they just throw that twist in. And you're like, fucking M. Night Shyamalan yourself. Alright. Although films belonging to the new French extremity exhibit traits representative of a wide range of horror subgenres, including slashers, revenge films, and home invasion films, the body horror subgenre has been particularly influential. You want to read the last 2?
Of course. Smith identifies body horror as one of the new French extremities' most significant thematic antecedents. I'm good for today, man. No, citing the early work of Canadian filmmaker David Cronenberg, I wonder who that is. Yeah. As a key influence on the movement, he calls attention to the collective focus of the new French extremity on human corporeality, specifically its destruction and violation. as the French seem intent to prove, it is not our corporal existence that should be held sacred. Their insistence on showing anything and everything is evidence of this. The body is meant to be examined explicitly and externally to deepen our understanding of our own humanity and what we hope lies in wait for us at the end of it all.
You know what's sad? That would have been a great way to end the podcast.
Yeah. All right. So follow us on Facebook at official Punk Rock Horror Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at official PRHP.
We still have a lot.
I know.
We still have a good amount of time.
It's just like we got at least like 15 or more minutes to fill. Like God.
Yeah. No, it's. You know what's funny? I never knew Cronenberg was Canadian.
You didn't know that?
Nope.
Yeah. Totally Canadian.
Did not know that.
What if he's listening to us right now?
Just poop myself. Then there's a good reason why he hasn't asked to come on.
There's a good reason why a lot of people don't ask to come on. No, I'm just playing. We actually do have a lot of people that like coming on, and we're so thankful of that. Thank you. Point being, though, going forward.
Yeah. No, so, like, you know what's also crazy is, like, because then you can argue, like, Cronenberg films are actually technically French films. French-Canadian.
Yeah. And he... Also, I just looked him up. At 76, he looks great for his age.
Yes, he does.
Like, dude's got, like, Patrick Stewart, like, cred going on right now. Like, let's add a couple more years onto Paul Rudd and see where he's at.
Dude, Paul Rudd hasn't changed at all.
He doesn't age.
No.
He's Jesus.
Is he French?
Okay, he's not Jesus. We don't want to get another letter.
Yeah, I was like, is he French? Then we should probably continue talking about French horror.
No.
Oui, oui?
I gotta go take a wicked yes. Back when Family Guy was funny.
Yeah, I know. Oh man, I'm gonna go take a wicked Meg.
Oh man, so I one thing I want to bring out that I think is really interesting about French horror is that, like I already mentioned, there isn't like this huge market for it, and I think it is. And maybe I'm wrong, but I firmly believe I'm right, is that I think the biggest reason is that they do really put sex and examining the human body at the forefront of a lot of their movies, at least in horror. I know in my movie that I did, it was definitely apparent about that the entire time. Because during some of the cinematography for French horror, it's not like traditional American.
No, I mean, look at Irreversible.
Yeah, because they even take
shit, the colors.
Yeah, well, and they also even take like a really like polarizing camera view in like cinematography, like showing all like the body of a person in horror. I mean,
so okay, just one more time talking about high tension.
Real quick, was "Let Me In"? Let the right one in French?
No, Swedish.
Oh, okay.
This makes so much more sense with the actual French title.
What?
Switchblade Romance.
Oh yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still garbage, but
for what movie?
Title, High Tension.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and
that makes a little bit more sense.
But I think that's why like French horror doesn't really get a lot of looks here. It's because in my opinion, French horror movies go either two ways. It's either like a huge slow burn throughout the entire time, explaining a metaphor for human anatomy or psychology, right? Or it's in your face, bloody, some of the most intense stuff you've ever seen. I mean, I do think it's A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. I'm fairly positive that's wrong though, thinking back on it now. But we were talking about that one movie where this woman and like her boyfriend are walking down an alleyway, and she gets beaten and raped.
Yeah,
and
that's how it starts.
Yeah, and it shows the whole thing. So it's that. I mean, it's intense and it's just really in your face. I feel like there was another like very popular snuff film that was also French too. I want to say, was that 120 Days of Sodomy? No, or was that?
It might have been. I'll look it up
here. But point being is that I think French
120
horror...
120 Days of Sodom.
Or Sodom, sorry. You know, it's the French are very good at finding human physiology.
French.
Yeah, so... all right, we're going to touch on that in a second. But point being is that I think they're really good at figuring out how to explain the human mind in certain situations in a much more artistic, metaphorical sense than we do.
Yeah.
And that's not like they're, who's better and who's worse. It's just they know how to do it. I mean, it's also kind of like, I feel a lot of like French horror films are a taste break of what we normally watch.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Mostly because, like, okay, when you also look at it, they touch on like hard subjects too, like Inside.
Yeah.
You'd never see an American movie
No.
touch on that subject. So Inside is about a pregnant woman whose husband was killed in a horrific car crash, and this crazy lady's trying to literally cut the fetus out from her stomach.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah,
steal
I remember
it.
that. Yeah.
And so, like, when you think about it, especially big budget, like silver screen, because I'm fairly certain all these are like silver screen in France. We would never see that on the silver screen.
Yeah.
Like in the big theaters.
And I mean, even like the movie Raw, which I did
Yeah.
like. It was not as bloody as I thought it was going to be. It really wasn't. But it was still a good movie. Raw was a good movie because it's about cannibalism, but it took me a second to look back at the movie, like why it was good is that it took a more innocent, humane view of cannibalism.
Yeah. I'm a vegetarian. Here, try some human.
Well, I guess this works. Gulp.
No cows were injured, right? No.
Nope, just my ex-wife.
Oh. No.
But yeah, and going back to like how intense the French filmmakers can be, 120 Days of Sodom, like
Fuck that.
That if there was ever a snuff film to be labeled a snuff film, it's definitely 120 Days of Sodom.
Yeah.
Like.
So just talking about that movie, just a little sidebar. You know what's really funny is that when we were talking to the guy at Gorehounds,
yeah,
and he was talking about like it really takes a special movie to really like fuck him up.
Yeah.
Just like what's the movie that Found? What I Did? He said like that the ending really fucked him up.
Yeah.
But he was just like, yeah, like a Serbian film, newborn porn, whatever.
It's like, okay, man.
Yeah, but just like I'm fairly certain he kind of felt the same way about. Actually, no, we need to ask him what he thinks about 120 Days of Sodom.
I'm going
to see if
right
he's
now.
like,
I'm looking up I'm trying to find some trivia for 120 Days of Sodom, but keep going.
I just want to see his reaction if he's like, yeah, that movie fucked me, or he's just gonna be again like, this fucking movie.
just fucking movie, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I can't find any trivia facts about it. That's so weird.
They want this movie buried.
Yeah, well, if you don't know what 120 Days of Sodom is yet, it's on a remote estate in rural France. 3 power-obsessed aristocrats who have bought everything else that they desire have locked themselves away with their virgin prisoners and set themselves 120 days to impose on them their most wicked desires.
Here we go, I found some trivia.
Oh, cool. Are you sure that's the right one?
Yeah.
Huh.
Salo.
Oh, I guess I need to look up that one. No,
Okay, despite the grim subject throughout the film, in an interview on the second disc of the Criterion Collection box set, actress Helena Serge claimed the mood was actually rather jovial on the set and that none of the teenage actors were actually harmed or traumatized. She said the abundance of teenagers who had never acted before led the mood to be happy and at times even fun, with the cast often playing practical jokes on each other. She also said that the movie was literally made in the editing room and the filmmakers had no idea how grim a movie it was until they saw the finished product at the premiere. Oh my god, so could you just imagine, joke's on you, you just did eat actual shit.
Man, this chocolate bar smells really bad.
Yeah. Pier Paolo Pasolini was murdered before the film's release. A 17-year-old hustler, Giuseppe Pino Pelosi, was arrested when he was found with Pasolini's car. He admitted running over Pasolini several times with the car after an argument. and end up convicted of the crime. Many years later, he denied participating in it, claiming that 3 mysterious men were involved. The case remains unsolved. Yeah, that doesn't sound so frickin' jovial now, does it, Helena?
I didn't really... Even 40 years after its release, the film remains banned in some countries still.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yep.
Okay, so an attempt by Sky TV to televise the full uncut version in 1991 was vetoed by the BBFC. It thus became the only film to be rejected for TV screening amongst the works by Sky, submitted by Sky.
Damn.
Wow. Man.
Oh, yeah. And Piero Paolo Pasolini shot 4 different endings for the movie. Oh, so that means, Jesus, the director was murdered.
Oh my god. Dude, talk about a controversial film.
Yep.
The film only earned proper censorship approval from the Australian authorities in 2010. Alright, Australia, I got a question. So, and bear with me here. I just need some clarification. So, how can we get censorship for this? And this is totally okay. But, and this is old, so bear with me. But, games like Manhunt and, Left 4 Dead get, shit on for censorship. And it's not near as bad as this. Now, maybe you're listening to me and you're like, Matt, I don't know. I'm not part of the censorship board. I think it's dumb, too. Cool. We can hang out. Whatever. My point being is that, there's a lot of Australian authorities who get really uptight about certain video games, right? But, 120 Days of Sodomy? Totally fine. Show it to your kids.
Well, Left 4 Dead was because of the way they did the 2.
It was because it was an eaten up hand.
No, it's because of the way the 2 was.
Was
they
it?
Had to turn it around.
Oh.
So 2, so if you in Australia, if you show 2 with the back of your hand,
well, okay.
that means fuck you.
But that's not. I'm more so meaning the content within the game, their reasoning, the content being too intense, and I'm
because they're not allowed to show blood.
Yeah, and I'm like, but shit eating is totally cool.
And sodomy.
Australia, we still want to come and visit you and try to survive your animals out there. But point being is that just
also,
where is the line?
I don't know. So this movie is included among the 1001 movies you must see before you die.
God damn.
Yeah. We're
gonna have to put a night aside to watch it, and then put an extra hour or 2 just to watch cartoons. just in case.
Oh, this is great. In 1994, an undercover police officer in Cincinnati, Ohio, rented the film from a local gay bookstore.
Huh.
Then later arrested the owners for pandering. A large group of scholars and artists, including Martin Scorsese and Alec Baldwin, signed a legal brief arguing the film's artistic merit. The court dismissed the case because the police violated the owner's Fourth Amendment rights without addressing the question of whether the film was obscene.
There's a movie to be made here.
Holy
and
shit.
Matthew McConaughey has to be in one of the roles.
Yep. He's got to be the gay bookstore clerk.
That, or he has to be the cop.
Yeah, that's true.
No, because if he's the gay bookstore clerk, who would be the cop? Who would be a good cop?
Samuel L. Jackson.
No.
Oh my God! Could you imagine him actually hamming it up? And
no, it would have to be someone
that. Just show me, motherfucker!
By the fury of God,
you're under arrest.
No, it would have to be someone who's really good at playing insufferable roles, as an actor, someone
just get Joffrey.
Or
the guy who played
Ramsey.
Yeah, he's old enough to be the cop.
Yeah. Or you could be the gay bookstore clerk.
Yeah, he's played a gay. No, for the gay bookstore clerk, you got to get the other McCulkin.
Macaulay?
No, Macaulay Culkin.
Is it Ian? It's
the other Culkin, the one from.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The one from
Saved.
No, I think.
No,
Saved.
no, it is Macaulay Culkin.
No, that's Macaulay Culkin.
God.
No, the one from Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
God, I can't believe I've made that mistake. I'm
Matthew McConaughey could play Alec Baldwin.
It's Kieran Culkin.
Kieran Culkin, yeah.
It's Kieran Culkin. My bad.
Anyways, as you can tell from our past like couple minutes of looking about this film, French horror films are like
fucking deep,
and they're also extremely controversial because they because also talking with the guy at Gorehounds, like he actually recommended me a couple French films, and he's like they're bloody as fuck. Like he was saying for when we were doing the extremely gory movies,
yeah,
he'd say like French films are probably the best way to go with the bloodiness. Which also, ironically, both the movies we chose were not very bloody.
Right. Well, we didn't know if it was going to be, but I would also say that, I mean, just on top of it, like, they're also some of the more artistically focused films, too. And being probably the most artistically rich country in the world,
mm-hmm.
You know, it makes sense. So, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't really know how else we can add into this and why. I think I'll just finish off for me saying, then I'll let you finish. Is that I think what I love about French horror is that they do take more risks with their films, and then more often than not, you do get something that is surprising, that is refreshing from what we normally see. And I think that's what I love about French horror. Yeah,
I do. I like him. I actually have enjoyed the French horror films that we've seen. I just read fun fact. One last fun fact about 120 Days of Sodom. Basically giving you a movie review of a movie we've never seen.
Yeah.
The excrement in the coprophagia scenes was a mixture of chocolate, orange marmalade, and some other clashing ingredients. The disgusted reactions were real.
Huh.
So they literally made it taste like shit.
Even though it wasn't shit.
Nope.
So that's how they get past the censors.
Aha, dirtbag! It wasn't actually shit.
You can't legally say it is.
Oh my god. Alright, cool. So, to end things on, definitely check out some French horror, broaden your horizon. Yeah, it's gonna kind of suck about reading subtitles. God, I was just having a really bad
that's the thing you want to take away. It's gonna suck that you have to read.
Yep. No, but they're fantastic movies, and they're really artistic, and they get well deep into like a lot of subjects that normal American movies and American horror movies won't watch. Like they pretty much embrace sex, while most of our American horror movies show abstinence is the future, and why if you have sex in an American horror movie, you will die.
Boobs.
Titties. If you show your boob, dead.
And if you don't want to show your boob, but you want to keep up with everything we're doing.
Die.
You can like us and follow us on Facebook at Punk Rock Horror Podcast, or on our Twitter at official PRHP.
Instagram, Punk Rock Horror Podcast Official, or Official Punk Rock Horror Podcast.
You had it right.
Yeah, okay.
We're also having great rewards on our Patreon. We have now a new... We're always going to be trying to refine our rewards because as we grow, and we made that a point in our front page for our Patreon. And one of the biggest rewards we've done now, besides the show, is that if you now become a $4 subscriber, not only will you get all those benefits, but you're going to get 10% off all merch. If you become a $6 subscriber, you're going to get 15% off all merch. And on our $8 one, well, we can't tell you what we're working on just yet. We're going to bring something out that's so badass that you're going to be happy about it. Or at least it's worth the price. Either way, point being, the price.
The price.
So
worth the price.
Point being is, at least please consider going over our Patreon and becoming a $2 a month supporter, where you will get a shout out on the podcast. You will get access to our bonus show called the Punk Rock Horror Half Hour Power with CPRA's Lala. And you will also get access to episodes before anyone else. With that being said, we have merch. We're working on another new shirt. Now, I'm going to issue an apology. So, a Figgy shirt, I fucked that up. That was totally my bad. I thought
this is why you shouldn't try and make shirts at like 2 in the morning.
You're right. I really shouldn't. So I made the Figgy shirt. We're going to take it down because we both had kind of a lesson. I had the biggest lesson saying that wasn't a good shirt. I thought it was going to be better than how it was received. So, pure and simple, we're going to take that shirt off the store, and we're going to give you another Figgy shirt, but this one's going to be better. It's going to have an officially done logo. We actually teamed up with an artist on Fiverr to make this logo for us. We've, it's gonna be great. So keep your view open and be ready for it, because I'm just excited that we're gonna get a Figgy shirt, and then I can't wait for us. The next one after that is gonna be the duck shirt. We gotta get you in a kaiju fight with the duck on a shirt.
I want a duck shirt so bad.
So please go over to our Teespring. All these things are in the below. Buy yourself a Punk Rock Horror Podcast t-shirt or tank. And please consider supporting the show. Please continue telling us about your family, friends, and all the people that you enjoy in your life and that you feel are worthy of our podcast. And point being, thank you again, everyone, for supporting us and getting us past 1,000 followers on Twitter and for the continued support. Ghouls and gals, you are amazing. We can't wait for June for you to hear all the episodes we got coming out and what we're going to be doing. Thank you again so much.
Yep. Bye.
Podcast over. Bye.
Bye.